welcome to the end. Or crap, sorry, wrong channel, guys, wrong channel. I don't know what I was talking about there. What's going on? It is Sunday, time for our AMA. You got questions? I probably don't have the answers, but we'll try, right? Let's do this. AMA time, Sunday. Oh no. Hello. We got Dropkick Miner in the Twitch there. We got Scaper. What's going on? Coming into the tubester here. What do we have here? I see a spamster in the kickster. Too many stirs happening. Travelers Travels, what's going on? Mr.
Rud Putz is here. Hey, Rud Putz, what is happening mining with nuclear power?
That's Rud Putz there for you guys. Amplifier Gaming, what is happening? Frank B. Zagatti, Ogre MGTOW, First Time 13, Budweiser. Yeah, nailed it. Oh, Budweiser, I got those stickers, by the way. They came in the mail there a couple weeks ago. I forgot to tell you during the streams, but yeah, they ended up showing up, so awesome. Grey Wolf, what is happening? Yusuf Putz, what's happening? J-Rod D, Milkman X, Crypto Craig, Rugrum, what's happening? Yusuf Putz, 3D Printing Lab. What are you printing, 3D Printing Lab? Let us know. Yeah, was I napping? Rabbit's like, yeah, actually, I was in the bathroom, guys. I apologize. I was a minute late, okay? You know, I went out, had a vape. You know, I was like, oh, crap. You know, I was playing some PS5. I saw I had to stream in 7 minutes. I was like, oh, crap. So I went out for a vape, and then I had to go to the bathroom. But I made it 1 minute late. That's actually not too bad. Will Blapanap, what is happening? Joey Gamble, what's going down? Yusuf Putz again. We got Northern Crypto and Tech. What is happening, Northern Crypto? What are you up to, man? What's happening over there? What do we got? Scrolling on. Oh, what do we got? We got Bazinga_X. Thank you very much for the US $20. That's like $1 million here in Canada. Much appreciated. For a watch, so you're not always late. Sorry, I could not resist it. Thank you. I'll go buy like a Rolex because I think that'll buy a Rolex in Canada. Like I said, 20 USD is like $1 million Canadian dollars. Or am I thinking pesos? I'm just kidding. Oh man, thank you very much though. Ogre GTOW, what do we got here? Maybe we should change Red Panda's name to Frodo Panda. When you gotta go, you gotta go. P.Dollar there. You driving away one of those random old miners today? Let's do it. Oh, you giving away one of those random old miners today? No. So I don't have none of that stuff set up for that. I apologize. My man, Rig 5, the OG. Yeah, Rig 5, he will be here forever. Always Rig 5. Rig 5 for life. Oh, man, yeah. I got to start taking some of those apart, though, because Panda did purchase them the other day. So, and I think he's coming out, like, sometime next month. In, you know, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. So we'll see what happens there. But I got to get them cleaned off. I got to go through everything, make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I wonder if tariffs are going to apply to donations next week. No, they shouldn't. Well, it probably depends. I don't know. You know, that's a tough question. But you got to think about tariffs are in. So I'm in, like, actually, you know what? Because YouTube's probably centralized is their headquarters in the States. So it goes to there. Then from here, you know what? I don't even know. It's not a goods or service. So it's hard. That's a tough question. I doubt it because you're not sending. It's when you're sending stuff in. So like maybe if you just sent someone a letter with $500, are you going to get a, 25% tariff on sending a letter worth $500? Maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Yeah, material goods only. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's only on material stuff. So like sending actual items through the mail. But yeah, I don't know. No tariffs will not apply to YouTube chat money. Yeah, I didn't think so because you're not sending anything through the mail. It's through everything through customs, imports and stuff like that coming in. Alberta will be exempt since they are part. Oh, Yusuf, you're funny. I have been having the time of my life troubleshooting my CPU miner. Delta, what's going on? What's your issue? You've been trying troubleshooting. Why are you troubleshooting? They should be up and running, and you should never have an issue ever, unless you have your clock set wrong and you switch an algorithm, and then you're like, oh gosh, there we go. Although I'm sure you can send Rabid gold and silver if you like. Yeah, maybe, you can do that. Now remember, that's everything coming in the States. So if anybody wants to send me anything, actually no, because then they want this retaliatory. You know, it's just a trade war. It's going both ways. So yeah, you can't send anything anywhere pretty much across the borders here pretty soon without getting digged. Now hopefully it's just going to be like the previous couple months where we're going to get to like the day when it's supposed to happen or the day after. All of a sudden, oh yeah, well, you know what? We had a friendly chat and, you know, we're going to wait another month yet again. So hopefully that happens again. But, you know, it's kind of getting old and tired of, you know, happening this day, not happening anymore. Happening this day, not happening anymore. Hopefully it just turns into not happening anymore, and then all our bags will pump to the moon. We need our bull run. It is time to get it going. Canada elected another liberal? No, hell no. I don't know. You know, it all depends. You know what? I find something very interesting going on. I think everything is, well, obviously we know everything is rigged by powers that be, but think about it. The same thing that happened in the States is now happening here. Do you guys remember back, you know, watching, because I watched that because I 100% wanted Trump to win and everything. I was rooting for him 100%. But, what was going on there? You remember Trump was pulling way ahead of Biden, way ahead of Biden. Biden was dropping everything. And then all of a sudden Harris took the reins and they just, you know, threw Harris in there out of nowhere, like not elected. I think just threw her in there to take over. And all of a sudden her polls, you know, TV news polls, you know, powers that be polls, fake polls, you know, we're pretty much showing that, oh, it's neck and neck. Harris has a strong chance. You know, this is going to be a battle to the bitter end. Then the election went through and Trump won by an absolute landslide. It wasn't even close, showcasing that the media was lying to everybody with their fake polls the entire time. Now we have the same thing happening here. Obviously, we don't have the election yet to see, but we have Pierre just destroying the liberals. They're destroying, gone. Now Trudeau steps down. We have Carney in there, and the exact same thing is happening. Now all of a sudden, the liberals are pulling way ahead. They're catching up. They're actually ahead of Pierre by a long shot, and now there's no chance. It's the exact same thing happening. So I'm hoping once we actually have our election, which is supposed to be April 28th, so the end of April next month coming up here, it's a landslide, and you know, we'll see, you know, we'll witness more fake polls and people just trying to, you know, point everybody here as absolutely can. And that's what I'm kind of seeing right now is the same crap happening here. And I watched some other things and stuff, and you know, they're putting Trump as top of mind, not everything else. And a lot of people are disagreeing, like, you know, deal with it. Well, you know, whatever. We don't really care right now, but I just noticed that there's a lot of media buyouts, and it almost looks like the Liberal campaign bought all the media, because the second Carney got in there, that's all it was, is how great they're talking about, how great he is constantly on the news everywhere you watch. I'm like, this is absolutely horrible. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It totally looks like they bought every media outfit, and there's Carney front and center, the ringleader. Like, we already know he has tax fraud pretty much going on. He doesn't pay taxes in Canada. He has Bermuda accounts so that he doesn't have to pay taxes. Meanwhile, he wants to run our country. He has all these foreign investments and he's not displaying anything. And then all of a sudden the media is talking about how great he is, like out of nowhere. So like, it's the exact same thing going on. You can see that like he bought everything out. But we're not here to talk about this stuff. Let's talk about crypto stuff. So ask questions. Snarks is voting early in a few days. Yeah, I'll probably do that too. Get it done, get it over with, so you don't have to go during a huge lineup on vote day. But yeah, craziness. Funwiser, F politics, more mining. Yeah, more mining, guys. Why does this always come up? Who cares about all this stuff? We're here about mining. We're all together. When it comes to crypto mining and all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Who cares about? We're all North America. We're all world. We're all on Earth. We're all one, right? Come on, let's be nice. We're all good. Let's go. Be nice to each other. How to set up a Doge node for solo mining. J-Rod D, that's a very great question. I'm not 100% sure yet because I've never looked into it. But basic principles, you know, first you got to download the software, obviously. Now, the main thing that would come in there is what you'd have to actually look into, because running a Doge node is just like running any node. You just download the software, run the daemon, run the CLI wallet or GOI, whatever wallet you want, connect it to the daemon so far. But when it comes to the mining side of it, the solo mine, you know, it's going to be interesting because, you know, does it require a stratum or does the node already have it built in? That's the stuff we still got. You still got to look into. I'd have to look into if I want to do it. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm imagining it probably needs a stratum. So you'd have to possibly set up, you know, something like Mining Core or some type of like pool software in order to mine to that node. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it has a stratum like Monero nodes and stuff. They got the stratums and everything is pretty much built within the node. You just need to point your rigs once you have the node synced up. You know, nodes like that, very easy to run. Ones that require stratum require more coding practice and stuff like that. Have you checked out the Canon Avalon Nano 3S? Yeah, I did a video on it a while ago. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me see. Let me see it. Canon Nano 3S. Let me see. Canon Nano 3S. We go videos. Oh man. Well, it looks like I wasn't good enough to make the cut, but I'm pretty sure that's Nano 3. I think that's mine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did the 3S somewhere. I don't know where it is. I have to go and, okay. I didn't make the cut to show up on Google for this one, so it looks like nobody watched it. Obviously, no one watched it because you're asking about it. I'm just going to go into YouTube here right quick and see if I can find it. Where are we at? Here. Sorry, I'm on a different screen because then you'll see all my secret info. Nano 3S. Yeah, here it is. Bam. This guy right here. This is the one you're referring to, I'm assuming. So here we have the Nano 3S right here. Most popular Bitcoin miner upgraded. So yeah, Avalon Nano 3S unboxing plus setup. So yeah, I checked it out a little bit. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I did check that out. So I'm just going to throw that for a link into the chat settings here in case you guys want to see that or something. Hey, Retro Mike is in the house. What is happening, Retro? What's going on? What are you doing? What are you up to? Oh, my live chat's going to be all messed up now, so I'm going to have to refresh that. Oh, get out of there. Come into here. Bring up all my other chats so I don't forget. There we go. All right. We're back. Back in business, I think. Maybe. Possibly. End kernel panic, not syncing. Soft lockup, hung tasks. You're going to have to ask Retro Mike about that one. Do you have open ports? Maybe there's a port that needs to be open for that one specifically. I'm not like I said, I never tried to set up a Dogecoin node. The other thing is, you know, solo mining Dogecoin, you might want to run all the other ones as well to enable all the merge mining and stuff. Now, I don't know how you actually enable the merge mining between them all. That's a Retro Mike question also. But, you know, mining Dutch, some of the other pools, if you solo mine on it, you are solo mining the other coins as well. So if you want to solo mine all the merge coins, you might just be, you know, obviously it's going to be a lot easier just to point to something like mining Dutch or something and then merge mine all the coins at once instead of just trying to solo Doge alone. But then again, you know, it doesn't really matter. You hit a block on the other coins, you're not really making anything anyway because they're all pretty much useless. So you really only want to hit a block on Dogecoin. So that kind of cancels it all out anyway. Oh, that's your CPU rig. Oh, I thought we're still mixed up in between the Doge thing and everything. Oh, okay. End kernel panic, not syncing, soft lockup, hung task. What are you trying to mine there, Delta? I honestly, I don't know what those errors are because I've never run into them. Are you in Windows? Are you in Hive? You know, what are you trying to mine? Rabid, you FPGA selling? I don't know. I gotta go back into the chat and see because that's not my FPGA. That's Snarks, who is in the chat here. But it does sound like he does want to sell it. It just comes down to, you know, who wants to buy it. J-Rod D, you can solo only Doge if you want, but makes sense to just merge them if you can run the hardware to support them all. If you just want Doge, you can do it with Mining Core. There you go, Mining Core. So it looks like you will have to set up a Stratum type of software, which in this case would be Mining Core for that node. Did you make a Schick wallet? Shiba coin on script. There's Shiba coin on script now. Now, obviously, it's not the same Shiba, or is it Shiba? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What's going on, Tech Man? Did Shiba move to like proof of work, or is this like some fake Shiba and I don't really care? The type of thing. What's going on? What's Shiba coin? Shiba coin on script. Is it on Mighty Pool stats? Let's see this. Shiba INU coin. Oh, it's saying Shiba Inu coin. So this is different because it's saying, oh, Shik. That's what you mean by there, Shik. Okay. No, I didn't. What F2 pool? We got all these in here. Price is not looking too hot. What's the block reward? So it's paying 1,300 a day. That's not too bad. The hash rate's pretty high. We can see almost half the network is unknown, which means you guys know what this means. We talk about this so many times. You got almost half the network is sitting on unknown hash rate via BTC. Whatever other large pools are probably mining this and not paying anybody. So large pools are probably stealing from people, or, you know, they're testing it before they publicly say that they're mining it. So interesting stuff here. I was not aware about this new one though. Let's just kind of compare that. What we got? 1.39 petahash versus 2. So about half. So half the network is missing there. All right, so that's actually not too bad in terms of overall hash rate, but it comes down, it is only $1,300 a day. Litecoin, it's not showing what it is. I'll have to look into that. No, I was unaware about that though, one. So but that's obviously, is that pretty new or what? Is that new? Is that new? Shiba Inu scriptomatic coin? Hawk, what's happening? Hawk's in the house, guys. Rabid, didn't you have an Octa.Space FPGA? Yes, I had the E300, but I had to send that back. They only let me borrow it, not keep it. So yeah, I had sent that back like months ago. It didn't last very long. So what pool can you trust? P. Dollar. You know, any pool you want. You know, it all comes down to pool can you trust. You know, that's a tough question. It depends what you're mining. Obviously, the sketchy stuff all happened to a script due to all the merge mining coins and everything. And then as soon as you see the hash rate start to spike, especially in the unknown side, then expect that it's the large pools are now testing or mining it. And then whether they're paying the miners, it's hard. It's really hard to tell, because when all the hash rate hits those small coins like that, it then goes from, example, like what was it? Lucky Coin or something? There's Lucky Coin. There was some Ceiling Cat Coin. Was that the other one? I can't remember. When those ones first came out on Mining Dutch, like they were like $15 to $20 a day because there's no hash rate on them. Then as soon as the big pools hit them, which they are on now and mining them, you know, now you're getting cents because all that hash rate just destroyed it. The only reason Mining Dutch was so profitable, you know, 4 or 5 months ago is because none of the large pools were mining these coins and the hash rate was severely low, which massively boosted your script mining profits. Now that all the large pools are on all these other coins, you know, they can't sustain the hash rate. It's just like Ethereum going to POS. Then all of a sudden, all the hash rate moves to all the other GPU coins and they suck, right? It's exactly the same thing. Large pools turned onto these coins that are only paying $1,000 a day and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, all this hash rate floods and now they're only paying everybody cents a day. So still, you know, it just comes down, bottom line is none of the coins can support that. Doge is still where all the money's coming from and the only one that can really support the hash rate. Yusuf, don't trust any pools, not even mine. Run your own pools using open source pool code. You know, that's a great answer. You know, if you want to solo mine, you want to, you know, what Retro Mike just said, you know, in a nutshell, you know, run your own nodes, learn mining core. I'm trying to learn mining core. I suck at it. I never actually really gave it that much time. But, you know, I played around with it a little bit, but never really got it running yet. But, you know, that's one of my goals is to just mess around with that. And that way, you know, set up your own solo mining pools. If you want to solo mine, do it to your very own node. That's 0% pool fees. It's your absolute best latency. It's a direct link with the blockchain. That's better than a pool running 10 blocks away. Obviously, if they have giganet and stuff, it's probably better than you, but you get the point here. You know, that helps decentralization, and it's obviously just you running your own infrastructure is awesome also. What do we got going on here? Trust only Retro Mike pools. Everyone mine on Retro Mike. Go. Delta, I took out one RAM stick and it still didn't work. I have upgraded the BIOS. I have never had these issues. Okay, now did you say something before that? Was that Hive OS? Was that Windows? The rig works with my 5700X, but not with the 3900X. I tested the 3900X on another motherboard, and it worked. Which motherboard is it? That's weird, because that's both the same platform. That's AM4, 3000 and 5000. So that's weird the 3900X is not running, but your 5700X does work with it. That's weird. Yeah, I'm not sure. Could it be a lane thing? No, because it's a 30. No, they have the same amount of lanes, both CPUs. I think there's something else going on in there. I'm not 100% sure. That's weird. Do you have any other motherboards to try it on? I say Rabid should just start his own pool for everyone. Get it done. No way. Mining pools are an absolute headache. Remember you guys, I had a Virus mining pool up, and that, oh my gosh, like once, twice a week, the node would just get corrupted, and I'd have to resync it and reboot and like bootstrap it. And you had to be like, watch it all the time. It was a pain, absolute pain, especially trying to stay up on top of what's happening in crypto and watching rigs and everything is going on. And then you have to deal with a mining pool. Dealing with a mining pool is pretty much, that's the only thing you do. If you're dealing with a mining pool, you're not doing anything else. Well, Retro Mike's doing all sorts of stuff, so he can do it all, but it's rough, especially if you have an issue with a pool. Now, if you get it all up running and everything works good, that's awesome. You can probably go months on end without anything going down and any issues. But then all of a sudden, if you have an issue, you got to figure out what's going on. And if something's bad's going on in there, you're messing with people's wallet addresses and holdings. And if something bad happens or you make a mistake or you don't really know what you're doing, it could just end up very bad. And I just don't even want to deal with that. So, yeah, no, not doing it. I'm thinking just use Retro's pools. Yeah, use Retro's pools. Retro Mike has pools. He knows what he's doing. Use his pools. Yeah, mining pools could be a ton of work and massive headaches. You should have fiber internet for running. Oh, yeah, you should definitely have good internet for running a pool, 100%. Can't run it off my Canadian dial-up. I don't have dial-up, I'm just kidding. But it's pretty bad. Backup batteries and generator too. Yeah, if you're going for full-on dedicated pool and no downtime, yeah, your infrastructure is going to be crazy also. I don't let people change their payout thresholds because I don't want to hold coins for people. I don't want to be responsible for coins, especially for BTC, BCH blocks in the event something happens. That's a good way. So you just have as soon as something's found, it just pays out or something. Yeah, that's kind of the point I was making there. Holding coins, setting thresholds, then all of a sudden payouts get messed up or something, and now you're dealing with people's coins and they're obviously upset. Just don't even do it, and then you don't have to worry about it. Just started mining on Retro Mike's DGB pool. Nice. Chucked my Nano 3 on there. Awesome. What else do we got? Any other questions here? X470 Gaming Plus Max. That's a good motherboard. ASRock. Oh, the ASRock A520M HDV. I'm not sure about that one. All that extra abbreviations in it makes it seem like, does it have voltage control in there? And the B550 with my 5900X. Well, the X470, I have a bunch of those motherboards, and they were great. I don't know if I have any ASRoCs. I might have one. I'm not 100% sure. What's the most efficient and cost-effective AM5 CPU for mining? I would probably go with the 7950X. Now, the 7950X 3D is a bit more efficient, but it does come with a more premium tag. Now, I look at this. I haven't priced anything out for a while, but you got to think about when you're building these rigs. And I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm only going to go with the what is it? The 7900X, or maybe even a 7600X or 75 or whatever the heck the next one down is, the 8-core ones." But you got to realize that, is that really worth it? You're buying the same motherboard. You're buying the same RAM. You're getting the PSU. You're buying everything other than the CPU. Now, the 16 cores, 7950X, yeah, it might be an extra $100 to $200 more. But if you actually look at your complete rig build, you're actually paying less for the hash rate and everything that you're getting out of the, the 16 core version, the 7950X versus 7900X, or even the, 7600X or 75 or whatever the heck that one is, 50, or is it 7700X for that one? I can't remember. I never really looked at the 8 cores. I forget what their numbers are. But, I've only been looking at 16 cores lately because it is more value. Even though it looks more expensive up front, you're actually getting more value out of that CPU for your complete build, making your overall rig cost per hash actually cheaper than going with the cheaper CPU. Now, I don't know what the prices are like right now. I got to look into that and stuff because I want to get more 7000 series and whatnot. But, that's how it was a few months ago when I was pricing things out, is you were paying more per hash and per rig, less value for your money going with the smaller CPUs. I just built a 9950X. Was that a mistake? You built 9 of them? Well, see, I remember when I tested, I still got a 9950X. It's a good CPU, obviously. It's efficient. It's more efficient than the 7000 series, but it comes in at a much more premium price because it's new tech. So, over the 9950X, you're not gaining anything. In some cases, you maybe even lost a little bit of hash because that base clock is actually so much lower. So the 7950X is a much better value over the 9950X in the case for mining. Now, I still haven't tried the 9950X 3D. Ultimately, that's the latest and greatest CPU released by AMD, and it's coming in with the top-notch premium price. But it does sound like it actually has improvements over the 7950X 3Ds, where 7950X, 7950X 3D, and the 9950X were all around 20 to 22 kilohash. Now, there was someone in Discord with a 9950X 3D, and they are pushing around 27 kilohash. Now, I don't know the power at the wall. I keep asking, what's the power at the wall? And it hasn't said it yet, or he hasn't checked or something. So I don't know if he's just pushing it super high and it's maybe using like 400 freaking watts, or it's actually doing it at decent levels. So I do want to get my hands on a 9950X 3D because, at least based on initial numbers and a lot of actual platforms and stuff showing this is actually a pretty good CPU. I do want to test this thing out for mining, but I don't know the numbers or how well it actually does yet because I haven't seen any wall type of numbers or anything on that yet. You can run the BIOS on eco mode on 9000 series if you need to save power. Yeah, 7950X, you can tune it just like we're doing on the X3Ds. Also, the X3D, the 9950X 3D does now supposedly allows voltage control. So now you don't even need to use PBO with your negative curves. You can actually set your voltages and stuff. Now, what I imagine I don't know if they have a safety net in there where if you put your voltage accidentally to 1.8 or something, like something stupid high, is it going to say, sorry, that's too high? Or is it just going to melt your CPU instantly and you act because you didn't really pay attention, or you fat fingered it, and then all of a sudden you melt your CPU? I imagine there would be a protection in there, but I don't know. I'd be very careful with that. You can adjust the voltage on the X3D. Yeah, the new one you can. The older ones you haven't been able to. Unless they changed everything. Maybe the new BIOS allows you to do them all. But that was a big thing with the 9950X 3D is now you do have clock and voltage control like the non-X3D versions, where previously we would just slap on eco mode on the 7950X 3D, drop your curves down to minus 25, minus 30, minus 35, depending on Silicon Lottery, and let it roll. But now you can actually tweak the voltage on those things. My question, 7950X rig, PBO versus manual setting and voltage. Is one really better and more efficient than the other? Yeah, it is actually. Like I haven't really, like with the 7950Xs, I've always ran, I need to do the test again and look. I don't know if I recorded a video on it or not, but I did try, what is it? For some reason, I remember going back on the 7950X, going back in the PBO mode and running eco mode, just like running it like an X3D. For some reason, I'm thinking it was more efficient, but now I can't remember. It's been so long. So that might be something over the next couple of days here, I might play around with again and test on like XMR or something and try, PBO versus the, standard voltage controls and base clocks like usually I do. And remember, I always pick XMR, Random X, the algorithm for tuning my CPUs. Now, some people, if you only have a couple rigs, obviously, you change your algorithm to a different coin, you can adjust and try to tweak it out as best you can. But I like to tweak if you have a farm and you're getting a bunch of rigs and you plan on stacking up more and more rigs. I like to just tweak it on Random X, Monero, or Zeph, whatever, the Random X algorithm, because all the coins will hash the same. That's just the way the algorithm works, because it's one of the most power intensive and demanding on your CPU, and that'll definitely tell if your Silicon Lottery is good or not. So I get everything tweaked out so it's stable on that. That way, if I do swap to Ghost Rider or, Kyla Coin or any other algorithm, Verus Coin, Verus Hash, any other coin out there, then you will be stable. You're not obviously tweaked for the other algorithms, but you will be stable. That way you can go into Hive OS. You got 50 rigs running. You can just hit all, swap your all coins over in a second, and you're up and running and stable. Now, if you tweak for something like Verus Coin or Ghost Rider or something, and then you go to move to Random X, your rigs are going to be crashing and going down all the time because now you're tweaked for a less power intensive algorithm, and your voltage and everything is unstable. That's why I always do that, because it's not like a GPU where you can preset your overclocks and everything within your miner or within Hive OS itself, or saved flight sheets and stuff, and saved GPU profiles and stuff. It's a lot harder to tweak those. We don't have like a Ryzen master in Hive OS. It'd be nice if they had made something like that. It'd be a really awesome improvement for CPU miners if Hive OS implemented an overclocking platform for CPUs. That would be amazing. Then we could actually tweak every single individual algorithm and really get the most out of our CPUs. You can do it now, obviously, but like you said, you have 40, 50 rigs. It's going to take all day just to switch a coin, because then you got to plug in, depending if you're on 3000 series, you're not running GPUs or anything. You got to plug a monitor into each one individually just to tweak the BIOS and stuff. 7000 series is nice because it has integrated graphics and everything, but you still got to plug in a monitor and everything and go through each rig one by one in the BIOS and tweak it out. So I think it would be amazing. The first platform that actually implements CPU overclocking and tweaking within it, whether it's simple mining or whatever, I would 100% move over to it and check it out. And if it adds profiles and everything like that, and you could tweak individual algorithms, that would be huge for CPU miners. Absolutely huge. But until they do that, I just tweak for Random X. Then you don't have to worry. You're stable. Then you can swap to anything you want. What do we got here? Jock McMiner. Love the way rabidmining reads a comment, then out of context replies. Yeah, I'm all over the place. We got Scaver there. My questions are PBO. Okay, we went through that one already, kind of. Is one really better or more efficient than the other? You asked that one twice. Did I just answer that? I didn't answer. I think one is better, but I got to retest that. Hi, Rabid. Are you merge mining Tari with... What is Tari now? With XMR rigs? There's a merge coin with Monero now? Merge mining Tari. I got to look at this now. I've been out of the loop, so I don't know what's actually happening. You guys are filling me... Well, Tari is not on mining pool stats, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I don't know. Is that with Monero, or what's happening with Atari? It's Atari? Like Atari playing like the Atari game system? Atari used to be awesome. I loved Atari. Atari is not on here either. If that was even a thing. Oh, it's in testnet. I hate test. So what's happening with testnet? What's going on with this testnet of Atari or whatever it is? Are testnet coins going to flood over to mainnet, or is mainnet when coins are going to start and it's just testing? Are they testing Monero and it's merging with Tari testnet? And like, how's it all working? Releases in April. That's coming up like very soon. Didn't downvote their CPU. Someone didn't downvote what? Low tech. What? He had a massive amount of power going on here. Cat Daddy coins. We went through that. What clocks would you recommend for my 3900X? I just got it working. Oh crap, what was the 3900 base clock? Is that 3.6? 3600 megahertz? I think it's 3.6. Let's just look it up. 3900X specs. I always go base clock and then try to drop the voltage until it crashes and then slowly bring it up, you know, until it's stable. But we just got to see what is 12 cores, 39. Oh, it's a 3. Oh, it's 3.8. So 3.6 to 3.8 is what I think most of mine are running at, like 3.6, 3.7. So it's a 3.8 base clock. So I would run 3.6 to 3.8 at 1 volt or less. 1 volt would be your top range if you have absolutely horrible silicon lottery. Actually, I lied. I think I have one rig that actually uses 1.1 volt or 1.05 or something like that at its base clock to be stable. So, you know, bad silicon lottery on that one. But, you know, so just set it to 3.6 to 3.8 and then slowly keep dropping your voltages down. Maybe start at 0.97. See if it'll run Monero for 10 minutes to an hour. Then, you know, drop it down a little more. See, 10 minutes to an hour. And then if it crashes, obviously bring it back up to the next one. Let it run for, you know, a whole day. And if it's good, then you can mine pretty much anything. So, yeah. So I would say start at 0.97 volts and 3.6, 3.8 and go from there. See what it likes. If it crashes or not, you know, obviously if it crashes, up the voltage. If it doesn't crash, you can try dropping it a bit more. Neat website. XMR address was put in the password field. Neat website. Tari may be doing a similar approach since BBP is no longer mineable with XMR. I don't even know what BBP is. Is that something that's like really old? I didn't even know that there was a merge thing happening with Monero. Oh, Bible Pay. I remember that one now. Yeah, that one. Okay, now that I look up, I'm reading these out of context here with Retro Mike. I saw his bottom comment. Now I saw the top one. Yeah, I remember Bible Pay. You actually, yeah, you mined on Bible Pay, and Bible Pay was actually proxying your hash rate to a Monero pool. So you mined so in theory, Bible Pay was kind of like the main coin, and they're proxying your hash rate throughout their pool to a different Monero pool. Am I right on that one? Then you were earning both coins in that aspect. So if they're doing something like that, that makes sense. So that's not actually fully merged mine. It's more of like another proxy thing, but that'd be very interesting. That would be for sure. Pool on RandomX, they would accept the shares and try to submit block, then they would send that share to support XMR. Support XMR. That's one they're using. Okay, awesome. Scroll up. I know, scroll up. I scroll up. I see it. I see what you're saying there, Bible Pay. I seen it. Go backwards through. That's what happens when you go backwards through your comment section. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's actually cool. That's something I'm definitely going to have to look into. Thanks to you guys for bringing that one up. So it might be time to fire up some more rigs, guys. I'm excited. Woo! Get some CPUs rolling again. Nice. Did you see Soap video on cloud mining? No, I have not. I haven't seen that one. You know, I've been busy playing video games and ignoring stuff. Not going to lie. I've been playing Ark Survival Evolved on PS5. New maps came out. I've been looking into some things, getting some other stuff done. Relaxing. Cloud mining is a scam. Yeah, I don't know. Like, cloud mining, I thought that I remember that's where a lot of people got banned for that, didn't they? That's probably how botnets are attacking people. Here, hook up to this cloud mining scam, and then all of a sudden, you know, your computer's infected. Next thing you know, you're mining Monero for someone and not even know it. Other than, I remember I used to, what was it? It was a long time ago. My computer got infected with Monero software once. I remember every time I rebooted, I'd hear my CPU fans ramp up. I was like, what is going on? Why is my CPU fan ramping up? And then I go into the task manager and I catch something there running 99% of my CPU, but as soon as you open your task manager, it disappeared. So you couldn't see it, and then it'd shut it off. So that's how you had to end it each time. I reinstalled Windows and stuff. I usually do every month, and I ended it. But I do remember it was about 4 or 5 years ago that every time I restarted my PC, it'd ramp up, and it would stay that way until you open Task Manager, and then it would disappear. Yeah, 100%. But that's how the botnets and stuff get in. You know, you got the XM rig Monero bots in there, and they're making your PC mine for them. on your power bill. Why not Rabid Gaming channel streams? I should. I should do a bunch of streams there, when I play a bunch of the games. So, it's a gaming channel. I'm gaming. That's the point of it. Duh. But my PC's been having issues, so I've been playing on PS5. I could probably... Oh, I need another PS5 because the little one... It's the little one's PS5, but I've been playing on. But I need one for myself. Then I could just hook it into my my capture card, and I could stream it through my PC without using my PC. Because I got an account on my PC, and I got an account on my PlayStation. I just kind of go back and forth. But, yeah, I should do more gaming content and more gaming streams. But I also got to keep up with everything. GTA 5 on gaming channel. No, there's no GTA 5. Haven't played that. I don't think I've only only GTAs I've ever played, I think, was the first and second one. Long time ago, like when it was new. The first, I remember you driving this stupid little car in like single lane all the way up, sideways up, or vertical, horizontal, scrolling. Oh man, it's crazy. Rabid, use your BC250. I don't have a BC250. So let me that one to check it out, the CPU side of things, and then I had to send it back to him for his build. So it was Soat's BC250. I borrowed it for a couple weeks, did a video on it, and then I sent it back to him. Rabid, are my CPU rigs ready for pickup? I'm coming in 2 to 3 weeks. Just kidding, maybe 2 months from now. Not sure. He's not sure. He's coming sometime. Just be ready. They'll be ready. They'll be ready. They'll be ready when you're ready. Would you be testing the mobile Ryzen CPU? That's the one in the misinforms, don't they? They use the mobile one. Is that correct? I don't know. Like the misinforms, they are a good deal and stuff. They're efficient, but that's pretty much where it ends. Like if you ever want to sell it sometime or expand it and things like that, you are very limited to what it can actually do. So it's pretty much buy this and you're never going to change it. If you're okay with that, then it might be okay. But I'm pretty sure those misinforms are the ones using the mobile CPU, aren't they? Add some dust to them for RPM. No, I'm going to be blowing them all out, getting them all nice and clean, ready for Panda. I'll have a... I never did ever comment on those jokes. Yeah, I know you guys always say Panda bathwater, things like that. But I was going to say, I'll have a bathtub sitting beside him too, and you guys can finally get some water. What does Rabid be mining on his CPUs? My CPUs are all off right now. But, like you guys said, that new merge coin coming in for Monero and stuff, I might turn on the 7000 series because the 3000 series are Pandas, so I can't use them right now anymore. Ever again. They're Pandas. They're his. I'm going to have to call Panda and be like, Panda, hey, can I borrow your CPU rig? See how they're still here? Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. We got to plan what I'm going to vlog about in your basement. Yeah, no problem. We'll figure something out. Record a couple videos. I don't know how much. Hopefully I have most of this cleaned up because it is an absolute mess down here. Like destroyed boxes. Well, Panda knows what it's like with all that. So like, there's crap. Like, oh my gosh. Like it looks like an absolute, you ever watch the show Hoarders? You ever seen that? That's what it looks like in my base. Well, not to that extent. It's not that bad, but like, it's pretty freaking bad. It needs a clean out like so bad. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. When sheetrock walls? Sheetrock walls. How do they work? I need to do something down there too. Put some walls up. Yankee is the only one I know that has the RPM bathwater. Don't forget to drink. Yeah, I know I need water. I got some here. I got a few funny things that Panda can post on Twitter though when he comes, like comparing cameras. Check out our cameras. Camera compare. You put sheetrock on the wall. Panda has replied once. I suggest Red Panda mining apple flavored bathwater. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Did you have to take a CPU from us from Red Panda mining? Did you have to take a CPU from us from Rabid? Really? You have a better camera than I do. No, it's pretty close. We have the same lens. At least. Are you using that 16 mil? That Canon one? Was it? Yeah, it's a 16 mil. I also got something else the other day, Pat. It's freaking. It was only like $20, and it's what is it? Ulanzi? Yeah, Ulanzi. Alonzi, is that how you say it? Ulanzi? You know, they make tripods and stuff like that. But it was only $20 and it's a light. You sit on top the cold shoe. It's a cold shoe attachment. You can put it on your hot shoe, obviously. But if you got a camera cage, which I'm pretty sure you do have, you can put it on the side or something. But it's a nice freaking light that you can just shine up in front of everything. It's pretty sweet, actually. It was only $20. I was like, nice. Spring sale, Amazon. And it's like good brand. And so far, it's been pretty awesome. I've only had it for about a week now, but I'm loving it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a Ulanzi, what is it? iGym or something? I know, it's nice. Could break the internet by taking a Rabid Panda selfie. Well, you guys, we could probably get a picture of our feet. That's about all you've ever seen of us most of the time, with the odd doxing here and there. Oh, man. Rabid, some epic CPUs are locked to the motherboard manufacturer, King told me. Well, yeah, when you're looking at Dell's a big one. Yeah, if you look at epics, that's normal. When it comes to any big, huge server type of things, a lot of server hardware is locked. Dell things like, let's go to eBay here. I'll just give you a quick example. That's normal, everyday, nothing new information there when it comes to server type equipment. So like, let's just look at epic CPU. Like, I don't know, put in anything. AMD CPU, where we got here? Lines. Epic Millen thread right here. Not there. OEM version of AMD Epic. No locked version. So here you can see some are saying no locked version. That means it's not vendor locked to anything. You can put it in any of the type of motherboards here. OEM version, OEM. Usually they pop up really fast. When you're finding, looks like a lot of them are unlocked at this point. The new ones are probably have a lot of locked ones. You know what? Let's look up something more specific, and then it might help. Let's go 7742. 7742. Let's try that. Not locked. So you see not locked there. There we go. Dell version. This one right here is locked to Dell's. Dell's, you have to use a Dell motherboard and stuff, or this will not work. But here you can see unlocked. So yeah, if you're looking for an Epic, make sure it doesn't say Dell version or something unless you're buying a complete Dell system. But usually you're looking for all the unlocked or not vendor locked, or, you know, see not locked right here. Here we see Dell locked. This one is a Dell locked CPU. So yeah, these are all, you know, depending where you get them. So make sure you look for that if you're looking for Epics. So how do I know if it works with Octa server? I guess it would say not locked, unless Octa server, maybe Octa server is a Dell. I don't know. I don't have an Octa server, so I don't know what the internal components look like. So first I'd look at the motherboard, see what motherboard are in the Octa servers. And then from that point, you know, if it's a Dell board, then obviously you can run Dell CPUs in it. But if it's, you know, whatever, any vendor, maybe it's Gigabyte, you know, whatever, then you can just get a not locked, not vendor locked CPU, and then you can just slap it in any of those things. What if they lie on eBay? Well, then you try to get your money back and make sure you buy from a credible seller that has decent feedback, because then you're screwed. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't Octa server use Gigabyte motherboard? I'm not sure. I don't have one. Haven't looked at one. No idea. Not sure what they use. Never seen Paralock. You all have a great day. Talk to you later. All right, see ya, Panda. Have fun. Have some fun doing whatever you're going to go do. What do we got here? Later, have fun at church. Amplifier bot. What does Rabid be mining on his CPUs? They are currently not on. For Zeph audit, I have to send all my Zeph to my own wallet, right? And if I don't, all my Zeph is gone. I don't know how it's working yet. It's supposed to be an easy process. Everything is almost there. Let me see. Where's Discord? Right here. There was a thing. I don't know what's all here. I'm gonna have to probably push this away super fast. Oh wait, where's? Out of my way. I don't know what I'm on there. I'm not really on anything there, so it would have been okay. Where is Zeph? There was an update the other day here. I'm just waiting for the GUI wallet to get updated. So what do we got? Audit code push. Builds coming soon. GUI plus web wallet this week coming. Plenty of time to participate in the audit. And there should be some more. Anything? Okay, I guess that's it. So any day now, there should be an update happening pretty soon. Nothing in the announcements or not. So anyway, the audit should be happening anytime. You know, hopefully we get that fixed soon, and hopefully Zeph makes us all rich. Right? Let's go. Let's do this. What do we got here? I'm not a religious person. Church can burn and oh geez, that's bad. I'm not even mentioning what Pat just said. That's some bad words right there. What do we got here? Do you think Zeph will rise again? Hopefully. You know, it all depends the way you look at it. No, $400 Zeph, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon anymore. $50 Zeph, I don't know. But if you look at current prices, now here's the one thing. Like I kind of mentioned that and then whatever. I don't even remember what video it was. But kind of resetting your thinking. Ignore everything that happened. You know, what is this Zet Ninja and stuff? What is all this crap? So think of everything like a reset. Now, obviously, if you're still living back in here at $50, you're not going to make anything. But if you start mining and stuff right now, or, you know, not financial advice, if you want to buy the coin, whatever you want to do in terms of this, Zeph is down to only 50 cents. So if you're thinking, like, say this all never happened, ignore it. You know, we might never get $50 Zeph back again. You know, I'd be happy with $5 Zeph. I'd be happy. But think about that. We're at 44 cents. And if Zeph even goes to $1, you're doubling your money already. You're doubling your current mining profits. You know, if it goes to $3 to $5, obviously that's going to be huge profits because there's so low hash rate right now. So if you just ignore the whole past and think about this moment now moving forward, then I think, you know, it won't take much news. All it needs is, you know, exchanges open on Zeph, and we could see, you know, an easy 2x, 3x happening on Zeph, depending on what happens to the wall. Now, if everything comes out okay, like I don't know what okay news would be for Zeph. Like obviously, there's this hack thing that happened on Haven where people were minting fake coins through the reserve or whatever, and then so obviously there's an inflation of Zeph coins, and it's probably sold and stuff now. So it comes down to how many extra coins are actually there versus the maximum supply and versus where it should be. That's what they're trying to figure out in terms of everything. So from that point, depending on how many extra coins there are or not extra coins or whatever's going on, that's the news we're waiting for. And then that will determine what happens to, I guess, the future of Zeph. But if, you know, even half positive news, I think could easily cause a possible 2x on this looking right now. But obviously it could all be negative, be bad, and shut down the chain and it all goes to zero. So, you know, there's still a lot of unknowns in there, and it's definitely very high risk right now. But, you know, just like everything else, there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. What about Peppy coin on CPU? Is it better than Zeph? It used to be good, but I don't know. You know, a lot of the coins, I think they've died. I don't know what Peppy coin's been doing lately on that. Let's, like, is it on here? I don't even know. Peppy coin. Pep, is that the right one, or is this the script one? That's the script one, so it's not that one. Is it Peppy Pow? Is that the one? I don't even remember. No, that's Zealous V2. King Peppy, it might be dead. It might be gone. I don't even see it. Peppy Private, what is that? Random Arc. I guess this is one, but it looks dead. I don't even know. Did it fork and go to a different algorithm, or is it gone? Like, I don't even remember which. There's so many stupid Peppies out there. Like, one Peppy does good on, you know, a dumb meme coin chain, and the next thing you know, you'll see 1,000 of them on multiple different chains trying to capitalize on that and rug everybody. So I don't know. I don't know what the CPU one even was at this point anymore. Who did the Lithuania go to war with? Lithuania? I have no idea. Red Putz, there's a reason mine isn't listed on mining pool stats. Peppy on script. Is that the one that used to be on CPUs? Is now it moved to script? Peppy Pow is CPU. I don't know. I have 0 Zeph. Never mind it. I hope I don't lose my money. Do you still use the D-pin dash cam? And how much is it making? Oh, the Honey Hive Mapper? Yeah, I use the Hive Mapper every time I drive to town. Like, why not? You're going to town, right? You're driving. You're doing whatever. How much is it making right now? I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually look at last. I'll bring that up right now and actually see how much I made last week. It's not very much, obviously. Price is way down. So last payout was 250. So 253.9 coins. So 253.9 times that for whatever. What's the current price of honey? Like 4 cents, 3 cents? I don't remember what it's at now. Let's see. Where's honey here? High Mapper honey is currently sitting at 3.6 cents. So times 0.0365. So that's $9.26. That's not too bad. I went to town. That covers maybe half the gas now. I used to fully cover gas in my car. Now it's maybe half the gas of the week. Now, obviously, if Hive Mapper decides to do something insane, like maybe go back to, say, 30 cents, that would have been $76 for the week for just driving the town. So, right now it's definitely way down from what it was. Rewards are dropping down. They're getting cut. And pretty soon, I have the older mappers, too. The new B is what's released now. And who knows, some of them are starting to ship. Who knows how long till everybody finally gets theirs. It's been months and months and months of waiting. But I'm still on the old ones. And those ones are supposed to lose, I think, within the next month or two here, even more rewards versus that, because the B is going to be gaining more rewards versus the older hardware. So it's almost like a hash rate increase. New miners released. You need them to get more yields type of thing that's happening there. Half gas is amazing. Well, yeah, depending where it is, for sure. And that's only at like 3 to 4 cents honey. So that's still actually not too bad, especially because I've been holding all my honey. Hopefully it does something. I have like 120,000 honey. So if it hits $1 for some stupid crazy altcoin explosion, that's technically $120,000 worth of honey I have sitting there. If it hits $1, will it hit that? I don't know. 50 cents, I'd definitely be happy with as well. But I've just been hauling it because why not? You're driving to town anyway. You're driving around. Who cares if it's not making you anything at all? Like I said, now it's only making $9 a week based on that. But that's still $9 that I wouldn't have just driving to town normally, right? So why not? Why not hold it and see what happens? If it's during the day, I absolutely use one. Yeah, for sure. If it's during the day, you need light and stuff to use it. If it's nighttime, I just unplug it. Because no point. But the B will probably be the best once they actually ship. Well, the B is going to be good. It's got night vision. It's supposed to last longer, too, so it can handle dimmer light, which will be huge in Canadian winters because it gets dark here. Like, I remember at the peak of the winter time here, the Hive Mapper would start at like 9:30, 10 a.m. is when it would begin when you could map, and it would end at like 3:10. Like, there's not much of a window in there where you could actually map. So you have to like wait till like noon pretty much to go to town. And hopefully you didn't take too long in town because then you couldn't map your way home and things like that. So the B is supposed to be obviously better for that. It's higher definition. It's supposed to have the night vision. The one thing I am noticing though that I really don't like about the new B, let's go to Hive Mapper here. They used to have 2 versions and they got rid of one, but let's look at it again. Products, pricing, like let's see, where's B dash cam? Order B. So do they still have 2 versions or they'd have just the one? Yeah, they only got the one, LTE and Wi-Fi. They used before, when they were doing pre-orders, you could either get an LTE version and Wi-Fi or just the Wi-Fi version. And now it looks like you only have the one option. Now, I emailed them a while back and, it's been hard to get a hold of them lately. But this would be very bad for us in Canada because you still have to buy a data plan. You know, at first I thought this is awesome. It automatically uploads as you're driving and stuff, and everything's all good. And I asked them, like, well, do you need a data plan? Or is it like, does it go through, you guys got an infrastructure where it just does the data and stuff? Maybe it's going through, what is it? Because this is supposed to be linked, with helium and stuff. It'd be nice if this would link with helium hotspots to upload and stuff. That would be, that's what we're talking about, decentralized internet. Helium hotspots, running internet everywhere. And then these things, talking and connecting to them. This is the infrastructures we need. But obviously that's not what's happening here. But you do need a data plan for this. And if I don't know, like you guys in the States, you probably don't have to worry about this. Obviously, you have amazing cell phone plans. Ours suck. We have very limited data and they're super expensive. So I don't even want the LTE. And you used to save a couple $100 getting only the Wi-Fi version over the LTE and Wi-Fi version. And now you can't have that. Now you just got to pay one for the expensive one. And I'm not even, like, if I had this, I wouldn't even use LTE because you need that data plan. It'd be too damn expensive to upload on the fly. So, yeah, they changed that. And I don't really like that you're limited to having to buy the expensive model now. All of Canada for data is horrible. It's expensive. Like, you only get, what's my cell phone plan? It's for two of us right now, but we pay I think it's $75 each, so it's like $150. We got 5 gigs of data or 4 or something. So everything is always Wi-Fi only. And then it's I don't even know if you want an extra 5 gigs, it's $50 or I don't know. It's something stupid. Our plans are absolutely insane. Our cell phone plans are horrible. And that's why I was pumped up for the Helium X and the cell phone plans and stuff that you guys get in the States now through Helium, that mobile. That looked awesome. $20, $25 for unlimited everything. Sign me up. But yeah, in Canada here, it's it's absolutely horrible. Yeah, unlimited data, $35 a month. See, that's cheap. Here, we're getting ripped off. My internet, I got 50 meg down and 10 meg up. And my up is actually only 4, so it's horrible. And my internet's $80 a month. It is trash. Now, obviously, if I could get fiber, if I lived in a city, I could get GigaNet for the same price, or maybe even cheaper than what I'm paying now. But I'm still paying stupid prices for nothing because I don't have other options available. You have a Helium data only plan now that is free. Oh my gosh. See, look at that. That's awesome. And Helium, we can't mine the mobile here. We don't have the mobile. Canadian government isn't allowing Helium into here. Or maybe it's TELUS and Rogers and Bell or whoever's our telecommunication companies are not allowing them in here because why would they allow competition in if they can price gouge the crap out of us, right? So obviously they don't want competition because they'd have to drop all their plans down to nothing in order to keep everyone on their plan. So we really need more competition here, and we're just getting ripped off constantly from all these subscription type places. Used to be amazing. It's still pretty good since I'm grandfathered into the unlimited plan, but new people won't get it. But it's probably, even new people, it's probably cheaper than what we got. You just do a transaction to send the coins to yourself, then the devs instruct and can tell if the coins are legit or not. Do you have a variable electricity rates? Example, off-peak. No, my electricity is locked in. It's the same price 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter what time of day I use my power. One thing that is variable is third-party fees. I do have a variable rate on transmission and distribution charges based on the amount of power that I use. So that does variable go up or down, 2, 3, 4 cents per kilowatt hour. But my main power price is locked in at 6.5 cents Canadian, 24/7. It doesn't matter when I use it. But the third-party platforms, just like everything else, is where our bill is twice as much as my actual power bill alone because of the third-party distribution and fees and stuff like that. It's absolutely horrible. We need the government to do their job and protect Canadian. Yeah, 100%. Well, we were stuck with Trudeau for the past, 8 years now, and all he cared about is himself and his friends. They all got rich while everyone else got poor. So we need a change. It's a good thing there's an election coming up because all those liberal guys care about is their own pockets. What do we got here? Oh, wow. All right, guys. So we have been here for quite some time. So I guess we're going to wrap this one up. I do appreciate everyone for showing up to this live stream. I'm getting kind of hungry right now, and I got to check on my CPU rigs for Panda. So I'll see you guys all in the next one.
Rabid out.